the Hawks to win by exactly 9 points, Brad.
Sorry, I thought this was a bold prediction.
Yeah, it is bold. It is bold.
The bold prediction was him having to say the Kings will win. My bold prediction, he'll work to Perth, by the way. Lockie Olbrich getting a double-double. He'll be amazing tonight.
Love it. Cannot wait for this one. It's the Hawks taking on the Kings. Game on.
Oliver, look out! Here is Oliver. The three-way series delivering once more. Harvey in possession. Illawarra playing for the lead. And guess who? Big moment. Tyler Harvey once more stands up for the Hawks. For the third consecutive time, they come to Kudos Bank Arena and beat the Sydney Kings.
Illawarra, they are ready for tonight. Oh, with a bit of flair, if you don't mind. And the Illawarra Hawks beat the Sydney Kings for the second time this season. On Christmas night, the top two teams, it has been a barn burner. Wow, it has lived up to the billing. Trey Kell goes boom! Illawarra beat Sydney for the third time this season. What a game. A Hungry Jacks NBL Pride game brought to you by Champion starts a fantastic Friday doubleheader. 4 playoff teams involved. There's the agent provocateur, Sydney Kings part owner Paul Smith, and his legion of followers behind him. This is a beauty. Sydney in 5th, Illawarra in top spot. Another sellout, 5,000 plus fans packing the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Illawarra good at home. Jalen Adams and the Kings fantastic on the road. Matt Russell alongside Derek Rucker, Brad Rose in the ladder says this game doesn't matter to the home team, but try telling the Hawks that. There they are in 1st, Sydney in 5th. On the coaching front, Justin Tatum becomes only the 9th man to top the table in his first full NBL season. Today is against the GOAT, the 6-time Coach of the Year, Brian Goorjian, who has plenty to deal with tonight. Good evening, men.
Well, good evening, Matty, and this is an exciting game. It's a big one for the Hawks. It's a chance for them to celebrate their minor premiership, but also put a dagger in the hearts of the Sydney Kings and complete a sweep of the season against the Kings. Illawarra, they've just got it going right now, but the Kings got to find a way, and that man right there must be contained, Tyler Harvey.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal all year, and you look at the way he's played. He's having a better year than he was last year. He's been able to finish the way he shoots the ball. Well, we know that. He's been doing it for a number of seasons, but this time he's doing it every quarter. He's playing really well, hitting those big daggers. He's got the best floater in the game, and of course, the toughest task right now, no Xavier Cooks for the Sydney Kings, Matty. He's out.
Against New Zealand, Tyler Harvey, 29 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. His most efficient shooting season continues. Speaking about an efficient shooter, coming good at just the right time. Todd Blanchfield, he's hit 3 threes in his last 4 games. He's averaging 15 points per outing his last 3 starts.
Well, he's a veteran, and he understands when to find your range, and he's done that the perfect time. Young Lee's been a little bit down with his 3-point shooting of late, so Blanchfield's success lately has been timely. But the Hawks, they're well balanced. They play at a high pace. These guys get out, push the basketball, and I love the way their bigs run the floor.
I was a little bit worried when Darius Days went down, but that man has stepped up. Now, you look at this, most NBL games without a championship. You know what? I don't have a problem if your name's on there. Look at the number of games you've played. But there it is, Toddy Blanchfield. He's been brilliant. Obviously, has played in a number of clubs, and no one more deserving than him right now, I guess.
He's thinking the drought ends this season. Now, over to Sydney, one of their MVPs is missing. Xavier Cooks out tonight. Their other MVP, Jalen Adams, had 43 points against Adelaide. Next start, 1 point against Perth. What a wild swing, Derek.
Yeah, well, it was referred to as Jekyll and Hyde in the pregame show, and it certainly was. And when you're trying to come out of a slump, Brad, I'm not sure Illawarra is the team you want to go against with the range of defenders they can throw at you and the level of intensity they attack guards with on the defensive end. But Sydney need Adams to be highly productive. Don't worry about your percentages so much. Just go out, get buckets, and get assists.
today's going to tell us what last week meant to Jalen Adams. That was not good enough. You can't have that situation. Illawarra would have seen what that did. 2 quick fouls, and he didn't want to be part of that game. That's what they're going to target tonight, and it will be interesting to see, will he fight back and have another big game, which I would hope and expect.
Hawks fans, God bless them, they're like rabid dogs tonight. They are frothing at the mouth because they want a clean sweep against the Sydney Kings. Derek, look how long it's been. Go back through the years, 2015-16, they were 4-0 against the Kings. They can do it again tonight.
And you know Justin Tatum doesn't want to blow his streak. He hasn't been beaten by the Kings since he's taken over as the head coach here. And Brad, they had 2 disappointing losses over the holiday period in this break. They want to reestablish this as a fortress where visiting teams come in here and catch capital L's.
Just such a tough game for Illawarra, really. Obviously, there's plenty to play for in front of your home crowd, but you win your first, you lose your first, so it will be difficult for them to keep going against this Sydney Kings. But hey, throw it all out the window. You see the starters there. This is a freeway series, and I can promise you, being involved in many of these, doesn't matter what position of the ladder, you want to win.
Xavier Cooks had been the only King to start every game. He falls at the final hurdle. A first start this season from Mulawatch. Tyler Robertson gets his 6th start of the season. The Hawks resting Darius Days and Trey Kell again. Tyler Harvey, Wani Swakala-Bullock and Sam Froling start every game this season through the regular season. It's the regular season champs against their desperate arch rivals. It's Illawarra trying to sweep the Sydney Kings. Enjoy this one. The visitors get the tip, and this man hoping for a confidence-boosting start after foul trouble early in the outing against Perth a week ago. Cam Oliver, strong against Perth and strong to start this one.
And I like that purpose from the Sydney Kings. Test Froling right away, see if he can defend Cam Oliver, and it also gets Oliver feeling good about himself and into the game right off the bat.
Sam Froling puts it on the floor, gets to the glass with the N1. He picks up where he left off on Wednesday against the Breakers.
Well, this is the challenge, isn't it? You're going to have Cam Oliver and Adams literally go for 50 between them. But not only that, you've got to stop this man and others down the other end. He's had a tremendous year. We've spoken a lot about it. They're averaging well over 100 points, and the Sydney Kings need to stop to get these wins tonight.
The foul on Cam Oliver, and that will be an aim for Brian Goorjian and his men to keep key players out of foul trouble early, Derek.
And it's tough because they're down on troops, but yet against a high-powered offensive team like Illawarra, you must be able to defend the basketball. So Cam Oliver and Jalen Adams are going to be under tremendous pressure on that end. Nice kick-out pass by Adams.
Extra pass from Robertson to Cam Oliver, who misses. The Kings trying to avoid a 3rd straight loss into the playoff tournament. They went down against Adelaide, they went down against Perth, and most concerningly for Brian Goorjian was the 100-plus points conceded in each of those 2 losses. Whereas Illawarra trying to take 3 straight wins into their next basketball game, 21 days away. Because of the playing tournament, because of the FIBA break. Here's Adams finding Tui in the corner, and Alex Tui drops his first 3.
He had a big game on Sunday against the Wildcats, shot the ball well from the 3, and he's going to be vital because I believe Adams will be able to create a lot off his penetration.
Yeah, big key.
Oh, Hickey popped a whack from Jalen Adams as he went past, so there's an early foul on Jalen, along with Cam Oliver. Concern for Brian Goorjian courtside.
I think another one as well, speaking here, and you'll just see the foul as Davo Hickey comes through. I think another one is Bull Quo. I think defensively he's been solid. Offensively, he's been missing outside of 1, maybe 2 games this year. They need him to start scoring and dropping that ball.
Rolling again outside for Mason Peeling, who fills it up for 3.
So I don't mind that matchup, and the Kings are probably going to have to give up something, and it's probably going to be that type of shot to Peeling, which you can live with unless he starts really get cooking, which he can be capable of at times.
Tyler Robertson, just his 6th start of the season. He drops a triple as we go to you, Joe Healy.
Yeah, thanks, Matty. Be buying the Kings bench to start this game. They are looking more focused and more together as a team than I've seen for a long time. Of course, course, one of their owners, Luke Longley, he's here supporting and mentoring the team. I spoke to Cam Oliver before the game, and he said the presence of Luke is enough. They understand something needs to change, and they need to dig deep, and they're off to a good start here.
Well, I love to hear that from Joe, and that's what the Sydney Kings, there has been issues this year where the bench don't look far into it, but I love the fact that she said that they're into it, and that's fantastic.
So a Tangerine timeout called 2 minutes into this first quarter. Joe caught up with Cam Oliver pre-game.
What about you personally? You've had, I wouldn't say a resurgence, I don't think that's fair to you, but you've definitely had like a really good period over the last couple of month or so.
Yeah.
What do you put that down to?
I think it's the opportunity, you know, that came across, you know, and it's capitalizing on that more than anything. And I just came here to play basketball, you know, and that was my biggest focus, to come back and just show my maturity, my leadership, my professionalism, you know, and hopefully I'm showcasing that the best way I possibly can. And yeah, just play basketball. I love basketball, you know, and just keep doing that at a high level.
Cam Oliver there, and in the box beside him you can see Brian Gorgian coaching his backside off. He knows how important tonight's game is. If Sydney win, they can finish as high as third. What does that mean? It means they get home court advantage in the play-in tournament and a double chance, and a big opportunity to avoid Illawarra until the grand final or championship series. So they do need other results to go their way, but don't underestimate the potential importance of a Sydney win. Firstly, they'll have to stop Tyler Harvey.
Well, Bull Wall just relaxes, and you cannot relax against Tyler Harvey once he hits the offensive side of half court.
Oliver off the mark, and Slaka Bullet grabs the rebound, running downhill. And Sam Froling, second chance, finishes the job for Illawarra.
The Achilles heel for the Sydney Kings is the defensive transition. Not a bad look by the Kings, but if you miss, you've got to get back, and they are off to the races. Great job here, and good signs from Jalen Adams scoring his basket.
And you're right, Brad, that poor defensive transition by the Kings actually led to an offensive rebounding opportunity and then a bucket from Froling.
Another sellout crowd of more than 5,000. It's the 7th time this season they've gone past 5K, the Hawks. That's a record in their history that dates back to the first season of NBL, 1979. And there's Alex Tui forcing a foul on the Hawks. Of course, they moved from the Snake Pit nearby in Gwynville here to the Wynn Entertainment Centre, slap bang in the middle of the gong.
Now, on the offensive end for the Kings, schematically, I'm trying to get myself set that so that Sam Froling is out on the perimeter defending away from the ball. Get Peatling involved in on-ball screens, stretch the floor, and let Adams handle it, and see if Peatling can contain Adams, or what the Hawks decide to do from a strategy point of view. Will they trap Adams? Will they switch it? But having Froling outside really reduces the amount of rim protection they potentially may have.
You're right, but I also want to add, I'm loving this aggression by Alex too. This is a big opportunity. We'll play big minutes tonight with no Xavier Cooks. His aggression looks good.
Peatling goes at Tyler Robertson. Mismatch. Peatling turns, shoots, leaves it significantly short, even though the Kings have been beaten 3 times by Illawarra. It's been single figures on each occasion. Robertson the miss there. 7 points twice, 3 points in their most recent meeting. Trey Kell, a star on each occasion. He's not playing, nor is Darius Days, and you can understand why. Niggles, there's 21 games between this one and the Hawks' next playoff outing.
Yeah, both of those guys have plenty of time, Brad.
They do, but it's also a lot of time out, and you want to play. So, look, Potnoy checking in now. We know what he's like. The ball will look for him. He will set screens and flare, but they need this guy. And that's, I like that he's being aggressive, and so he should after last week's game.
Yeah, both those players I mentioned were close, but the Hawks making a calculated decision not to risk a setback or an injury development tonight.
Yeah, that's right.
And use all 21 of those days. Apparently they'll break until later this week. Justin Tatum giving them plenty of time off, then a mini camp, then they'll get back to regular work in lead up to that first playoff game. So that's the road ahead for the Hawks after this game though, and there's plenty of time left in Illawarra tonight before we head to the west. The Wildcats against the 36ers, which has huge ramifications for the top 6, especially the Sydney Kings. If they prevail here, and Kawatnoy can help them by dropping threes like that.
It's a big-time step back. And Noy has been playing outstanding basketball for the past 2 months.
You've got him most improved and best six-man, Derek, as he told us in a game recently at Kudos Bank Arena. While in game, he yelled it out.
That's right, Matty, and I think he's well-deserving as Harvey misses a little floater. The Kings off to a really good start here.
Out by 4 midway through this first quarter. Significantly down without Xavier Cooks, without Jalen Galloway, without Kelly Lepepe. Adams from outside, his shot jumps away.
And that's the one I'm saying for Bull Quoll. He came off that screen and he wasn't even looking to shoot that ball. He needs to be more aggressive, and whilst Jalen shot that, he had a better option the first time.
Will Hickey passes outside. Peatling misses the rebound for Oliver.
Peatling now 1 of 3 from the floor, and that's good. That's a good job by the Kings, creating shot opportunities for Peatling. That's the guy you want shooting the ball more than a lot of your other guys.
Adams just exploring and then drawing a foul. It's on Mason Peatling.
Well, some subs coming in here. Listen, Tatum, he's bringing in his sharpshooters. Blanchfield, like we said, has been really good the last few weeks. And Hung Jung Lee, look, hasn't shot the ball like we know he can, but he is an absolute radar if this thing gets going. And look for them to get the ball going quick. And for the Sydney Kings, Malowach comes in, and Sean Bruce will be subbing in for Jalen Adams.
Good with the first. As we mentioned pre-game, that 43-point career high 2 games back. And he didn't make a field goal because of early foul trouble against Perth last Sunday.
Did you ever have 1 point in the game, Derek?
Wow, somebody would have to go back to the stats. I don't think that's happened in an NBL game. I would have no idea.
I want to know if you did it. You know every game that you've ever played and how many points you scored.
You've got a tool at your fingertips there, Brad Rosen. Get on the stats machine and you tell us. I reckon I know the answer.
What date, what game, how much, and he'll know his stats.
Absolutely not. Here's Alex Tui putting a nice move on Blanchfield, but the finish was lacking. And the Kings stay with that 5-point lead. Harvey trying to shake Malowach. He does. That's class from Tyler Harvey.
And this is where they're so good. Tyler Harvey can bring the one up. Doesn't matter. He's got that, sees that mismatch. And when you've got your 2 shooters in Lee and Blanchfield, it opens the floor up for the best man to get that dribble and his best floaters.
Oliver!
Oh,
brace yourself. That was ferocious. Cam Oliver got close. The big hammer jam. And the Win Entertainment Center shakes.
Look at the Amy replay. Tui did a great job of just creating a little advantage, and Oliver puts the tomahawk down.
Well, Spurgeon's come in the game now, and this is where they want to get the ball to Sam Froling. Spurgeon's an okay defender, but not be able to guard this Sam Froling.
Hickey, easy for Froling, who goes dunking back at the Illawarra at the Sydney Kings.
You know, Sam Froling knows who he is as a player, doesn't try and do anything he's not capable of, knows where his bread is buttered. Malowach lets that one go.
Tyler Robertson back in for Brian Gorgian. Alex Tui taking a breather.
Interesting team on here for the Sydney Kings. Quatnoy obviously will be the bulk of the scoring. Blanchfield takes it. Who says he's an old man, Derek? He's fine.
Well, Quatnoy obviously underrated him, and Blanchfield hit him with a crossover at about half court. Right here, bang. Now Noy's all out of position, and then a little bit more speed to get to the backboard, Brad.
And that's poor defense. That's all the way from half court. Where's the help? Not in the split line. Should have been taking the charge there. That's an easy offensive charge for the Kings as he was going out of control, but a good finish by Toddy Blanchfield.
But consistent, high-quality dribble penetration creates doubt in the minds of help defenders, and Spurgeon was the victim then.
33 years young, Todd Blanchfield in his 16th NBL season. Nice runner from Robertson.
Brad's TikTok buddy.
He's enjoying greater court time this evening, Tyler Robertson. Oh. No whistle for a tangle off the ball. Froling backing down. Malawatch! Sam Froling misses the shot, but will go to the line for two.
Brilliant work by Tyler Harvey. Knew exactly what he wanted, got the mismatch. They can't guard him down there right now. The guy that probably can is not playing in Xavier Cooks. So just keep rolling it in. Let this man go to work. He's going now. He's got 7 points. Go to the line for another 2.
So much talk about Sam Froling's future, and with good reason. What a talent. Still only 24 years of age. He plays and speaks and carries himself with such maturity. You often got to remind yourself he is not 25 until Monday. 15 points per game, more than 7 rebounds. Thrown a couple of assists, a great shooting clip. Derek, the last 3 seasons have been a mirror image of each other. So consistent now across such a period of time.
And I think Brian Gorgon really unlocked his talent during his stint here. And you've seen the evolution of Sam Froling since then. Now one of the best big locals in the NBL, and a guy who is just immensely valuable in that it allows you flexibility with the construction of the rest of your roster as Noy is fouled on the arms as he attacks the hoop. Now look, Brad, what do you think Noy's thinking he's going to do on the catch?
Shoot it and nothing else.
So it's inexcusable for a defender to be caught off guard.
You know, as defenders and coaches, you teach your defender, be there on the catch. You can't be that with Quat Noy. You can't be there on the catch. You've got to be there before the catch. And if that means that you are a little bit less in help, you live with that. Because this guy is just a bucket waiting to happen.
Hunter did not play in game 1 against the Hawks, but bounced back with 15 points game 2. His most recent outing, 24 points, 9 rebounds, couple of assists. So Quat Noy carries good form against the Hawks in game 3 into this 4th meeting. Lockie Olbrich, the young, strong, assured talent. Scores locked, 21, 2.5 left in the first. The opening game in your Friday doubleheader, that was touched from the hands of Quat Noy. And Tyler Harvey is very happy to clean up. So the Hawks hunting the lead, having fallen behind by 5 points. Dan Greeder, court time early. His first play is a 3-point play.
Well, it's the penetration by Illawarra. You said it before, Derek. They're just able to get their feet in the paint. There's no fouls called there. He was looking for it. Now it's going to be 5-on-4.
Spurgeon down in back play.
Now, Young Jung Lee. Oh, watch out. If the Hawks find their scoring rhythm, the Kings are in trouble. The highest shooting percentage since the Townsville Crocs in 1997.
A big
That's
momentum
this year's
play early
Hawks.
there, Matty. Sorry, Young Jung Lee gets his name on the scoreboard early.
Malawatch. He casually drops 3.
High-quality basketball game. Oliver and Adams due to check back in.
Sitting right in front of us, getting riding instructions before returning. A rebound offensively from Olbrich. He gets his own. The Hawks reset with Jung Lee. The bounce pass, Greeder. The tip in by Olbrich, no. Greeder fresh from 8 points in New Zealand on 4 of 4 shooting. He made his 3rd. There's a miss to break that scoring streak. Quat Noy finds Tyler Robertson.
Excellent penetration by Noy.
Hawks by 3, final minute of the opening quarter. Harvey going to work on Malawatch, who wins that battle. Got a nice tip on the ball, gave it straight back to Olbrich. Here's Harvey trying to do what he couldn't a moment ago. Costly turnover by the Kings very late in the first. In the blink of an eye, it's Illawarra out by 5. Sean Bruce trying to have the final save for Sydney. There's time here for Blanchfield. From mid-court, Todd Blanchfield is off the mark. The Hawks subdued early after an energetic start by Sydney.
Well, it's just a bit of talking.
Hard late.
Well, it's Sean Bruce that was having a good chat with Dan Greeder, and that's where it started. Then Tyler Harvey came in as well. As we know, this freeway series, there's no love lost.
There's the answer to the question, do the Hawks really care about tonight, given they're locked into first? You betcha they do. They're here to sweep the Kings. They're here to celebrate with their faithful the regular season championship. It's 29-24, the Hawks and the Kings. There's always feeling between Illawarra and Sydney, and this game reached boiling point at the end of the first quarter. Some sweet shooting before that, and this ferocious tomahawk jam from Cam Oliver. During the contest, we saw Dan Greeder, this rainbow three as well. But here's what I was talking about. Sean Bruce agitating Tyler Harvey. He had reinforcements rush in, and as a result, players from both teams given a warning by the referees during that quarter-time break. The Hawks by 5.
Matty, sorry, they've just called it now. Sean Bruce has got a tech
foul
foul.
on White, technical foul on White 7 or on the bench?
No, White 7. There is no bench. It's an interval, so there's clear
There it is. So we just see it is in game. So Sean Bruce takes the foul, so he will now shoot the free throw.
One shot.
So the time expired.
It's Blanchfield at the line, so the second quarter starts with the technical free throw. With Todd Blanchfield, who reminded us of his shooting form in the first quarter.
We have actually seen this a few times this year where teams come out and have that first free throw, and that really makes them go on a run. We've seen it a few times. Let's make for Illawarra here. Let's hope they can get going with the Kings. They need to tie it up.
Well, the three-point shooting's been very good from both teams, but in particular, the Hawks are 4 of 6.
It's the rebound count. 14-8 is what it is, with offensive rebounds, 6 of them for Illawarra Hawks. And there's the three-point play.
It's Lockie Olbrich. The first quarter started with a slew of fouls for Sydney. Now, fortunately for them, they were able to have no player pick up more than one foul in the first quarter, but that's a second right there, Brad Rosen.
It is, and Derek, we just chatted off air. I just felt in this game with no Xavier Cooks, I don't think you can have Adams and Cam Oliver off at the same time. Now, they were both off at the end of that quarter when Illawarra went on for a run there just before the end. So One of them need to be on the court, in my opinion, the whole time.
Olbricht's had his free throw struggles this season. A second foul on this man, Cam Oliver. No other King has more than one. As I mentioned, here's Tui called for travelling. Chris Reed, senior official tonight, spotting that one. Nico Fernandez and Travis Stewart, the other officials at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. Jung Lee goes back to Hickey. Shot clock goes to single figures and Hickey pulls the trigger. Off the mark. Olbricht nearly pulling down another O board, but it falls for Tui. Oliver, such an athlete, especially close to the rim. Here's Jalen Adams, harassed by Dan Greeter. Adams. Greeter stays with him and Adams can't score.
Fabulous defense by Greeter. Kept his feet in front of him, made sure he didn't foul.
Oh, Will Hickey's been floored. Young Jung Lee scores the points and Hickey is helped off the canvas.
An outstanding defensive possession by Dan Greeter. And here, Hickey just loses his footing, but fortunately, the ball bounces right to Lee, who lays it in. Brad, we're starting to see the effects of the bodies and the wave of speed and athleticism that Justin Tatum can throw at you. And with Sydney's bench pretty thin, this lead is getting out to a dangerous margin.
And I'm with you, Ruff, but I also look down and see that they've got two starters. You could call, Darius Days, whether it's six-man or starters, and Trey Kell. It comes with energy and it comes with effort. And you look at these bench players. Toddy Blanchfield hasn't played much. Look at him out there. Look at Hung Jong Lee out there. This guy needs to score.
Bull Qual couldn't get a shot away. Goes to Oliver instead, and he muscles his way through plenty of traffic to close range.
That offense is still too stagnant. More pass and cut, pass and screen. A lot of ISO-generated offense at the moment. I don't think there's a lot of legs in that.
Tyler Harvey liked the look of that through the air, but catches too much of the rim. Bull Qual. And Todd Blanchfield forces the turnover. Blanchfield with an easy two. So the fourth turnover by Sydney. The Hawks with only one. I'll come back to turnovers in a moment. A really interesting stat regarding the Illawarra Hawks as Tyler Robertson forces a foul on the home team.
And the Amy replay, Oliver, careless, doubles over in disgust with himself. And on the other end, Blanchfield taking advantage for an easy deuce.
Men, react to this. Today, the turnovers 4-1 against Sydney. The Hawks are the only team in NBL history, so not 40-minute, NBL history, to average 100 points per game and concede fewer than 10 turnovers per game. So they're scoring high, they're playing with pace, moving the ball, yet they're conceding fewer than 10 turnovers per outing.
I think it's a function of the belief that they have in not only themselves as individual players, but their style of play and the system. And that goes to Justin Tatum and the leadership and the game planning that he has provided for this franchise.
Froling. His pet play, but he comes away scoreless on that possession. Robertson had a head of steam up.
Wow.
Hits the deck. And now Hickey, a game of 4 on 3. And even the Hawks were too fast for their own good. Here's concern for Tyler Robertson under the bucket at the southern end. Ryan Gorgon calls a timeout, and there's real concern for Robertson.
Brad, is that a foul at the end of that play? As Hickey comes down and he can't connect with Peatling. But deep concern right now for Robertson as he's writhing in pain.
Yeah, that looks like obviously to the ribs. You see where he's holding. He couldn't catch his breath. Look, from first action, yeah, I think it was. Just to answer the question here we look at it here. He goes in. Yeah, that's a foul, and if I'm not mistaken, grabbing the net. Should be 2 points as well.
Heavy collision with Mason Peatling. Let's hope it's only a winding and there's no rib or rib cartilage damage.
Well, he takes it right there, and then the fall wasn't the worst I've seen, but obviously,
Yeah, the hit first.
yeah, the brunt of it was there. And
Oh, that's sore.
lateral sternum, right side.
Well, it's a good sign that he's able to sit up. And look, he's had a great start to the game. Hasn't played every game this year, but he's been ready tonight to step in. He's had 6 points on the back of 2 or 6 shooting. He's played some good minutes, but we'll follow this.
2 minute, more than 100 kgs, colliding with a big impact. And yeah, Tyler Robertson will add to Sydney's concerns tonight. I mentioned no Xavier Cook's out for personal reasons this evening. That comes on top of long-term injuries to Galloway and Lupepe. And now Tyler Robertson, who started tonight, will be forced out of the game.
Well, I just saw he's got the doc there, Seamus Dalton, one of the best in the business, so he'll be in good hands.
Well, right now with this lead at 9, the Sydney Kings, given the context of this game, they are going to need to knock down 3 balls at a high rate and a lot of them, because I don't see any other way. We know the 3 ball is one of the great equalizers in the modern game. Nice move, Noy.
Well, that works. You get Quatnoy into that on ball, and he slipped early, was able to get the ball, and that's a nice little action there they've got between Jalen Adams, Oliver, and Quatnoy. Keep going back to that.
Illawarra led by as many as 6 in the first quarter. They're out by 7 here. 3.5 gone since the first break. Top shot for Sam Crowling. The Hawks off big wins against Tasmania and New Zealand. Trying to go 3 straight before their first playoff game. Alex Tui in the corner. He misses, and Peatling gets the board. Now it's Tyler Harvey. Good shooting again. What a year he's having, Tyler Harvey.
It's clunky, isn't it, Derek? The Kings are just clunky. They're going to options they're not sure of. He'll shoot it. He's always sure of it. It's just clunky offense, and now it's out in the races.
And it's Peatling getting there in time. The full court pass, 2 cheap points, and it's 11 the difference. Ominous signs right here for the Kings.
A deceptively good pass there. Now an illegal screen by Cam Oliver, and that will be personal foul number 3. And Gorgon goes to the bench for Spurgeon. Big problems down here in the gong for the Kings.
The key out of the Perth loss last Sunday was to keep key players out of foul trouble. Well, Cam Oliver has 3.
That
was to control the boards. Well, offensively, it's 6-0 in favour of Illawarra. Offensive rebounds tonight. And start better. They did start with some energy and enthusiasm, but it's only one of the 3 boxes they needed to tick, Derek.
I agree, Matty. But
this is where they need to go now.
The cruel reality, Brad, is sometimes talent just wins you games, and there is a disparity right now out there on the floor. And if you aren't used to playing at a high intensity level like the Kings haven't always been, it makes it hard to stay in games like this.
And it's funny, when I hear you say talent, I look at this Sydney Kings team and they're talented, but you're talking the way they're playing talent, and I completely agree with you.
Alex Tui loses the ball. Peatling dives on it. Great desperation for Illawarra to wrap up the loose ball, and now Blanchfield from a long way outside. Another O-board for Illawarra. It falls for Will Hickey. 7-0 offensive rebounds.
Well, it's not only 7-0 in offensive rebounds, it's 20-10 in total of rebounds. It's just difficult to make a run when you've got this situation. And what is good news is Tyler Robinson's coming back in. So obviously it was a winded, looked very sore, but it's good to see him coming back in.
Yeah, but what's bad news is Jalen Adams picked up his 2nd foul, and Brian Gorgon is not willing to roll the dice and leave him on the floor so that he picks up his 3rd.
Well, this hurt them in the first quarter by not having the 2 stars on the court. So we'll see what they do here now. 2 bigs here for Sam Froling and Ulbrich. Watch out that offensive glass.
Blanchfield, a wild pass that Froling pulls in. And now they turn it over. Froling and Olbrich messing things up. Noy to Alex Tui. The foul will be called on Froling. You called the Sydney Kings doctor one of the best in the business, Brad Rosen. I'll call him a miracle worker. How is Tyler Robertson back out there?
Oh, the magic sponge, Matty. We all know the magic sponge.
He was crouched over, holding his ribs that I thought might be in a few pieces, but all is good in Tyler Robertson's world again. Great to see. And great to see the Hawks medico, Phil Driscoll, OAM no less now,
brilliant,
lending his support to the Kings in that regard.
As he always would. Now, you talk about the next star here, and what a great season I think he's had. Derek, we spoke about it. Last year started well, then dropped off. This year started well, dropped a little bit, but then got picked up and started. His minutes have been sporadic, we know that, but when he does play, and he's playing well tonight, right now, he's got 7 points to go in 1 of 3 from the field.
Well, the bottom line, he's done enough to make NBA teams optimistic about him as a prospect.
Oh, well, Hickey draws the foul. Johnson Spurgeon unable to get out of the way in time.
So with this Kings lineup, I just saw Justin Tatum pull Davo Hickey over, and I wonder if he told Hickey to go on to Tui, because Tui is realistically your #1 playmaker out there right now for the Kings.
Well, he is with the ball, and Quat Noy's the other scorer, right? So that's where you want to be able to go, and that's a good pickup by you, Derek.
But let's just see what the actual instructions are. I was just kind of interpreting it. Let's see, now Greeta's out there as well, so they've got...
So what you're saying is you're sitting on the fence. You just want to say, I know what he's done, but I really don't.
Well, they probably want length against Robertson as he's a shooter. And you see they're looking around trying to figure out, but they've hopped into a little press.
Interesting five. Bullquall, Robertson, Noy, Spurgeon and Tui on the floor for Gorgian. Shot clock to 5. Noy has to go to work. Noy gets his own rebound, no, but it'll be off Sydney, in fact.
Well, they've called a foul, actually, Matty, over the top. Quat Noy for the foul, so that's his second foul.
But again, Brad, that's great coaching from Tatum. He took that break to get them organized, to get into a press and ensure his 2 best defenders out of the press were able to get onto Tui and Noy, that being Hickey and Greeta.
Yeah, great. And now these chess pieces keep going. Malawatch comes in now for Spurgeon. So I can only assume that they're going to put Alex Tui in the 5 with Quat Noy in the 4. A very, very small team out there for the Sydney Kings.
Well, if you're going this, and this is crazy, but if you're going this small, Brad, and Illawarra plays so fast, you almost have to try and outpace one of the fastest teams in the league. And it's high risk, but you got to do something, because if you continue like this,
you're going to be down 20. Amen, I'm with you.
The Hawks already in the bonus, 3.5 left in the second quarter. They have a couple of fouls to give themselves.
And that's a good point you make, Matty. And if the Kings are going to have to pay with pace, what's the #1 and the easiest thing? You foul, right? So this is where it's a tough couple of minutes here for the Sydney Kings going into halftime.
Oliver sitting with 3 fouls, Adam sitting with 2 fouls, and Noy out there also nursing a couple. Here he is now. Top of the key. Quat Noy.
good job. The Kings were able to isolate Noy in the middle against Blanchfield, a defender that Tatum didn't want on Noy.
It was like a matchup zone there. Yeah, matchup zone, but I would have stayed in that. Man, they're going to struggle to score on you.
Will Hickey well short with that shot. And he apologises to his bench. Noy again. And it's Quat Noy forcing the foul on Lockie Olbrich this time.
And there's the pace you're talking about, Derek. Quat Noy there gets the ball. See them talking.
Kings have been good on the road this season. They're 9-5. 9-5 away from Kudos Bank Arena and not beaten by more than 10 points in those 5 road defeats.
Well, the hope, Matty, is that they would come in here and put up a performance like they did down at the State Basketball Center when they knocked off the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Now, granted, there's no Xavier Cooks. However, they're close enough in this game right now, Brad, although the tempo isn't to their liking, nor is the momentum.
Yeah, agree. Hawks by 9, who are a fantastic home team at 9-4. Trying to make it 5 straight home victories to see out the regular season. Here's Alex Tui. Watch Malawatch for 2. Timeout called by Justin Tatum. A little run there by the Sydney Kings, prompting the Illawarra coach.
Well, Brad, you described it perfectly as a bit of a chess match right now, trying to figure out which size lineups to go with. And Justin Tatum realized that Sydney took a little bit of the ascendancy there, and he called timeout to talk it over.
Let's hear from Tyler Harvey pre-game.
What is it about this matchup and the way you guys are playing that has you with their number?
I think you got to take every game individually. We try not to look into the streaks of you beat this team so many times. Every game is so different, and different players, different matchups is each and every year. So we're looking at this like, you know, you got to act like you haven't played them yet. You got to approach it that way, and that's what's helped us throughout this year, playing every team. You play every team 3 to 4 times, so you really just got to lock in individually to each game.
They've got their backs against the wall coming into this one. It's not necessarily must win, but they're playing for a double chance. How do you guys make sure that you aren't complacent, that you're still playing the effort and winning the effort game?
Yeah, I think that's just part of the culture that we're trying to build and sustain here at the Hawks. It doesn't matter, you know, must win for them. It's a must win for us too. We don't want to let our fans down. So at the end of the day, both these teams are going to compete hard against each other, and we're going to give it all we got.
Yeah, the pendulum has swung in this matchup after an 8-game losing streak to Sydney. The Hawks have now won 5 straight. Justin Tatum unbeaten against the Kings as the man to lead Illawarra. Last year against Sydney coach Mahmoud Abdul Fattah, and then this season against Brian Goorjian in 3 contests coming into tonight. A slip by Tyler Harvey is called a foul on Bull Quoll. Joe Healy, over to you.
Yeah, I was just listening to the Hawks there, and it seems they've taken their foot off a little bit. Justin Tatum just in that timeout, though, sent an absolute rocket up his team. He said, let's not get complacent, guys. We've got to be in their faces defensively and keep pushing here.
3 words from Justin Tatum sort of summed up his approach tonight. When asked about the players who will take the floor, he said, no one rests. No resting on our laurels. We're here to beat the Kings and celebrate in front of this crowd. Another sellout.
Here we go, guys.
Kings frustrated that was called a foul.
Yeah, and the Hawks ran a little misdirection play, and Bull Quoll got caught out of position, and his legs got tangled up. And the Kings coaching staff not full of faith with respect to the refereeing right now, Brad.
I think they're still complaining about the no call on Tyler Robertson, Brad.
True.
Yes, they are. That's exactly what George was saying then.
So a no call on that man, and then perhaps a soft foul call at the other end. Just raising his eye. Now another turnover. Harvey has the ball. Olbrich picks up the pieces. Here come the Hawks. Harvey shoots and misses. There were just players running into frame, calling for the ball. Tyler Harvey let loose, but couldn't complete.
Now, the Kings have been so careless with the basketball. 7 turnovers combined with the 7 offensive rebounds they've given up. You know, if they did a 50% better job in both those statistical categories, Brad.
This game's tied or up. You're right, Derek. Yep.
Instead of Illawarra by 9. The Kings trying to stay in the contest and seize back some momentum. Can Bull Quoll provide? The finger roll finish was short. And now a foul call bails them out of trouble there.
Well, he's called a flop warning on Tyler Harvey, which from that angle, I agree, there wasn't enough contact for what that was, and that was a better take for Bull Quoll. It's now going to be fouls, and Alex Tui will go for the free throw line.
Here's Tyler Harvey. faking that movement, according to the referee.
Yeah, because the laws of physics would say that it was impossible for his body to go that way.
Yeah.
If it was not a fake, the contact wasn't in that direction.
Well, I've always been told that the force of the offense, the defense, if that is overreactional to that, that's a flop. In that instance, well, it's just, is it geometry? Do you want to go there, Derek, or which way you want to go?
Physics.
Yeah. Physics.
Derek was outstanding at physics.
So he tells us.
Told me that 8% in a physics exam was a pass mark for Derek.
Wow. Oh, he told me he should shoot every shot. That was his physics.
Tyler Harvey. Shot clock to 5. Harvey shoots, another miss. Froling, another board. 8-1 now.
Well, they got to get him some more shots. I know they can shoot the 3, and they shoot it pretty well. Missing there, but right now, they just got to go inside. Look at the height there for the Sydney Kings. No one can guard Sam Froling.
Blanchfield shot, had a couple of looks and decided not to drop. Strong from Quatnoy. He can't finish, but gets the foul. We'll go to the line for 2. So Quatnoy, the only king in double figures, and the man most likely right now to drag them back into the contest, men.
Well, he's playing a small ball 5 right now, and he's actually doing a really good job of hitting the glass, making himself available in the paint and in the high post. And obviously right there, he secured a big offensive rebound, goes to the free throw line, and now he has a chance to reduce this margin to 6.
Final minute of the first half. We've had Cam Oliver and Jalen Adams play only 10 minutes of the game so far because of foul trouble. The foul off the ball. It's called on Bull Qual.
They're the coach killers. Not only is that a foul that you don't want as a team, it now sends them to the free throw line and sends Tyler Harvey there for 2 free throws.
Qual walks down and apologises to Brian Goorjian.
And that's all well and good in theory, but at some point we can't keep accepting the apology. You got to stop making fouls like that. They do your team no good at all.
I don't know whether Brian did accept it. There was a long look at Bull and then he just walked away. He needs better against the top team in the league. The Hawks 46, Sydney 39.
Well, my understanding here is they're reviewing for an unsportsmanlike here on Bull Qual. So there was a little bit talking here. Here we go here. Just watch Bull Qual in the top corner here. Oh, a little bit of an elbow there.
Now, I don't even know why he would
well,
have the thought process to take that action.
By the letter of the law, that is unsportsmanlike. There is absolutely no need for that.
And adding to the stupidity of it, right in the face of Travis Stewart. It was almost like he said, have a look at this, ref.
Well, I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Left of screen here, watch it on Hyung Jung Lee.
Look, bang, unsportsmanlike, done. Yeah, now Illawarra have just seen it. Now they're coming up and starting to talk to Bull Qual because they're not happy.
Yes, you know who has seen it?
The crowd.
5,000 people in their seats around the stadium.
Unsportsmanlike foul. White 0. We have 2 in possession.
And good job by all the referees and the replay center.
So 2 shots and possession for Illawarra, who might give us a big end to this first half. They're hunting 50 points in the first half, the team that averages more than 101 points per outing.
You try not to bash and keep hitting, but you're down by 7. You've been playing well with your superstars sitting on there, and then you just give them 2 shots, side possession, momentum. The crowds come into it. It's just basketball you don't want to play.
Lee makes 1 of 2. Ball back to Illawarra here, though.
Well, I keep going, and it's a broken record, and I can hear Damon Lowry get it inside to Sam Froling and let him go to work.
Instead, it's Lee beyond the perimeter. Hyung Jung Lee!
That works as well.
Take 3.
Well, the sweetest revenge is a step-back 3 from Lee. This lead out to 11.
And the 50 up for the Hawks in the first half. Robertson.
Good offense.
Fantastic durability to get back out there. Noy comes away empty. from that possession.
Well, the key here, 19 seconds, you just want to make sure the Sydney Kings don't get another look. That's the main thing. Don't turn it over, take the last shot of the game. Hopefully you drop it, but if not, get to the free throw line and get 2 shots.
Are they thinking high percentage down low with Froling?
No, it's Tyler Harvey for the 3. He's not letting that thing go.
Or Lee, or Blanchfield. Probably won't be Will Hickey for the 3. Instead it will be Hung Jung Lee. Well off the mark. But there's no time left for Sydney, apart from a full court prayer. A good first half for Justin Tatum and his men. They've put key Kings in foul trouble. They've hit 50 points in the first half again, and they've kept the Kings to 39. The home team by 11. The regular season champs doing exactly what they wanted here, Joe Healy.
Yeah, that's right. I've got Sam Froling with me. Sam, you held them to 15 that quarter. How do you assess what's happening at the defensive end?
I mean, we got Adams out of the game. He's the only real playmaker. So that was a big emphasis for us, and it's been on the defensive end.
And what about at the offensive end? You guys are moving the ball well, getting some good looks. How does it feel?
Yeah, good. I mean, we're playing free. Everyone's having a crack, and we're looking pretty good. We're hitting some shots.
Awesome. Good luck in a second.
Thank you.
Well, there it is, a huge contest here at the Wynn Entertainment Centre as the Hawks by 11 heading into halftime. Stay with us. You're watching the Hungry Jacks NBL. Welcome back to the Hungry Jacks NBL. It is halftime here in Wollongong. It's been an intense playoff-like battle so far. The Hawks with an 11-point buffer at the break. Joe Healy alongside Derek Ruffer and Brad Rosen. Guys, talk me through that first half.
Well, I thought it was a matter of Illawarra just being able to do whatever they wanted to in the paint. They lead the NBL in points in the paint per game, and right now they have an advantage of 24-16. And look at the field goals, Brad. Illawarra have attempted 42 to just Sydney's 29, a product of poor Sydney ball control, and Illawarra destroying them on the offensive board.
Illawarra's pace, they've just been great. I think the Sydney Kings are lucky to be in this game at the moment. I thought Illawarra really had an opportunity to step that out, but they didn't. But the fact that they've been able to give up 50 and only score the odd 30 themselves, I just don't know where they're going to get these points in the second half.
Well, the Hawks are doing it by committee, but one man, Tyler Harvey, is proving his weight in gold. 11 points on the offensive end, but it's his hustle tonight that's impressive as well.
It looks like he's free-flowing out there on the court, Joe. He's getting too much space from the Sydney Kings defenders, and he is a very talented player. He can kill you getting to the rim. We know his float game is one of the best we've ever seen, and of course his ability to shoot the ball from deep is always a threat. And look at him, give you some tongue while he's at it.
Look, someone said, is there something in this game? He's telling you that there certainly is, and he's been fantastic for them. But when I look at it, look at the Blackmore's shot chart, it's just all over the court. Yeah, his three might not be dropping tonight, but it's his presence. And don't remember, he loves playing against Brian Gorsden, the coach that brought him out here. He loves nothing better than putting that on him.
What about for the Sydney Kings? J.A., he's struggling to get going. Cam Oliver is one, though. When he's out there, he has had a positive impact.
Yeah, I think he's had a good stint. I mean, it wasn't great, but he was having an impact on the game, but the foul troubles limited his opportunity. The Kings did a good job as a team to cover for him as much as possible, but Brad, they need Cam Oliver on the floor in this second half for at least 16 of the 20 minutes. He's going to have to be able to play with these 3 fouls. He's going to have to defend and rebound. It's a big assignment, but he's got to be up to it right here.
Since he had that 0-point game, he's been averaging nearly a double-double. He's brilliant for them, and they need him out there, and I agree with you. Jalen Adams, he's had 1 basket in 6 quarters of basketball. That guy needs to get going, because if he doesn't, they're not even a chance.
Hopefully for the Kings' sake, he does. Guys, a huge encounter here at the Wynn Entertainment Centre with the Hawks taking on the Kings. But this one also, later on tonight, has huge permutations for the ladder.
Well, hopefully, Brad, if you drive fast enough, I can be back in time to watch the second half. Kendrick Davis, Bryce Cotton, 2 of the greatest point guards ever to play in the NBL.
Oh, they've been outstanding all year, and I cannot wait to watch that one. And yes, Derek, 7 speeding tickets. We'll get the second half.
We'll take a look here at the Mitsubishi Motors live ladder. As it stands, the Sydney Kings are going to take on the 36ers. That is a danger game for them if they can't get up here.
Well, we know the Sixers have beat them twice in recent history, and this would be big for Illawarra just to say, we are the best team in the competition. We swept you, Sydney. We're ready to take on anybody that comes into the Wynn Entertainment Centre.
And not to add to that as well, that's a sweep against the Sydney Kings, and that probably means more to them right now.
Exactly right. They're also doing it without Darius Days and Trey Kell. Extra impressive. Stay with us. As you can see there, it's the Hawks 50, the Sydney Kings are 39. We have a big second half coming up after the break.
major shock for the Illawarra Hawks. Will Davo Hickey starts for the first time this season.
You know, we all just started to click at the right time, I feel like. Everything started to happen around the right time. I started to sniff an opportunity in there to the playoffs where, you know, we went through that run, ended up starting, and it all sort of happened so quickly.
This is huge news. Davo Hickey, a first start for this season.
I love the change-up. That's what Tatum's done. He's done it all season with this team.
From sitting around talking with, you know, Wiley, my roommate, like, oh, when's it going to change, to then start, and it just...
There's a young man making a name for himself, and that name is Will Hickey.
And Davo Hickey has earned himself a position here.
Here's Hickey down the lane.
And if you had said at the start of the season that Davo Hickey would have this type of impact in a semi-final game, you would say you're dreaming.
It's all on the line right now. Clark, no foul. Hickey, offensive rebound. Scores! Incredible from Will Hickey. The want, the desire, the effort. He comes up with one of the biggest plays of his career.
Like, you know when you're a kid and, like, you're hooping and, like, you're, like, in the gym by yourself, 3, 2, 1, That's what it was. It was like that moment, but it came to fruition, you know?
I mean, I told you, if you show me what you're capable of doing consistently, then I'm gonna give you an opportunity. And at the end of the day, I seen something in him. He was one of my favorites when I walked in. It was first time in Illawarra, the way how hard he worked. And as long as you know that I got that trust in you, you're my guy.
It's not how you expect it in your mind. Like, you think it's gonna be this big movie scene, but it's like, it all just happens. And it's like, you're thinking too fast. You're worried about the next play. Like, it was a surreal experience, like, just in the moment. Like, it was surreal, the best way to put it.
Hickey finishes up with the ball. The fairy tale has another chapter. Illawarra's season lives on. And he's gone on with the job this season. Will Hickey leading the league for plus-minus. With him on the floor, the Hawks are plus 250, if you don't mind. Sam Froling, 8 points, 7 rebounds in the first half, set for a big double-double. His 8 rebounds per game against Sydney are the most against any opponent. He has 7 boards to the half. Tyler Harvey leading their scoring with 11 points. Watnoy leading the way for Sydney, scoring-wise, also with 11. The Kings riding their big guns and riding their luck. Jalen Adams and Cam Oliver, and Adams starts the right way after half-time.
Well, that's what they want to do. Both played about 10 minutes in that first half. Didn't really do enough to be able to keep the Kings in. But let's hope for Jalen Adams and the Sydney Kings that gets him going.
Harvey looking for Hickey, who wasn't expecting the ball and only just makes the catch in time. Swakala Bullock looking for his first score of the game. Unsuccessful. Adams again. As Tommy forces the foul on Swakala Bullock.
Jalen Adams coming out right away, trying to assert himself. Now, the Kings on a couple of occasions have done a really good job of moving the basketball, and they've gotten it to Bull Quall in closeout situations, and he's done a poor job attacking it. Last time he led Wani Swakala Bullock off the hook, didn't do enough with the ball. It's imperative that he find a way to attack and be creative if Oliver and Adams don't have plays.
Correct, and good offense here is what they need. You look at the score, they were down by 11 at half-time. The fast break points, 16-2. Fast break points off turnovers, 7-0. That is 23-2 coming from fast breaks. Good offense will stop that.
So the Kings get it back to 6 early in this third quarter. Will Hickey left alone to shoot and drop the 3.
It's a percentages game, Derek. You got to give something up. That's not bad for the Sydney Kings. Just good offense there by Davo Hickey.
Mentioned his 5 assists to half-time. He's off a career-high 9 assists against New Zealand on Wednesday. 2 he misses, and Peatling gets the loose ball. Now Hickey again gives Swakala Bullock a fantastic look, but the shot won't drop for Wani. So the door is ajar for the Kings. Able to keep it to single figures, the deficit for most of the game. Having led by as many as 5 in the first quarter, that's their biggest advantage. Justin Tatum frustrated with that foul call, man.
Well, that's his third. You would obviously leave him out there. And I'm sure Coach Tatum knows the last thing they want is to get this man rolling.
Brian Gorsham called Tyler Robertson over during that little break. And I think the instruction was, we want you handling the ball. Let's get J.A. up the floor. Because I don't think, even though he got to the free throw line here, I don't think Gorsham was happy with that possession with Jalen Adams dribble.
I completely agree, and he's mentioned a number of times this year, and even having Xavier Cooks out, that's that extra ball handler they are missing. Putting him in the 2 spot enables them to get the ball through hands first.
Harvey for Hickey again. There's not back-to-back threes for Will. This man, Jalen Adams, 3 points in the first quarter, none in the second, but he's hurried to 10 since this third quarter started. The key for Sydney, Jalen Adams, backed up by Cam Oliver. The Hawks win possession. 53-46. Crucial minutes here early in the third. Sydney can go as high as third if they win this and have other results go their way. Froling.
Well, that's a good play. Number 1, it's Sam Froling. Let him have the ball. But number 2, you want Oliver getting his 4th. So keep going in there and try and pushing that.
Adams just keeps the points ticking over now. Up to 12 in a hurry. Harvey back for Peatling. Hickey, an ambitious shot that got nowhere near the mark, and here's some momentum for the Kings. Adams, he's stripped of the ball by Hickey. Great defensive play by an elite defender of this league. Froling can't score. 2 with the rebounds. Adams with enough time to shoot the 3 unsuccessfully.
Both teams.
And exhausted.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So they slow it down, the home team, through Hickey. Swakala-Bullock. A few chances to set his sights now, but Wani, none of 4 shooting.
Both teams look a little bit winded.
Yeah, they do.
Had plenty of opportunities in this third quarter, Sydney, to really cut the deficit, maybe get back on par. The shots won't drop. Tyler Harvey says, watch this. No and no for Illawarra.
Well, some substitutions coming in. Sean Booth, I would think that would be for Robinson. He'll try and bring the ball up as Qual misses that 3. This is up and down.
What happened at three-quarter time? At stages in the first half, they just couldn't miss. And now it seems they can't score.
And I just think this is a time where you got to get Quatnoy in the game.
Will Hickey short, rebound Adams.
And here he comes.
So the split has been 7 points for seemingly an eternity. And it will stay that way after the shot from Adams. Now Hickey, he gets to the glass. And bumps the Hawks back out. He just thrives on the pace, Will Hickey, but the Hawks love playing out. Now Oliver forces a foul on Froling.
Good decision there by Oliver. Realized Froling was leaning to assist on the possible dribble handoff. Puts it on his left hand and gets to the basket. And that will be 3 fouls on Sam Froling. So he and Wani Swakala-Bullock both have 3.
So Olbrich checks in. They wrap Sam in cotton wool. Olbrich had a tough shooting night in New Zealand, none of 8. Tonight, he's 2 of 6. Has had some of his best games against Sydney, Brad.
Yeah, and you look at the substitutions and what they want to do. Both coaches don't want to have timeouts, right? They want to save those for that fourth quarter to run those players home. You look at Cam Oliver, you look at Jalen Adams. Yeah, they could have kept him on the court, but no, they saved the timeout. They'll use them in the fourth to give him the break. And Isaiah Liarka is going to step in here now.
I like this substitution.
Yeah, so do I.
He's a guy that has a lot of confidence in himself. He's had an abysmal shooting season, but he can get streaky. He can get hot quick, and that's kind of what they need right now.
The Hawks only needed 54 points tonight to guarantee themselves an average of 100 points plus through the regular season. The first team to do that since 2009, the first team to do it in the 40-minute era. They're on 57, so they've ticked that box. Here's Kwatnoi. Tough bucket. He does well, Kwat.
When the game is a bit choppy like it is now, that's where Noi really can thrive.
Well, just the way he takes that contact and finishes been a highlight of his year, actually, what he's been doing so much.
Holbrook fighting for the ball, but he can't keep it. And they'll go back to this man for the shot, Kwatnoi. 4 of 8 shooting. He's on 13 points to lead the Kings. He led them at halftime with 11. He has 13. Malawatch has a foul inflicted on him by Illawarra.
And Brad, they've done a really good job, Sydney, in the second half. They've limited Illawarra to only 7 points in a bit over 6 minutes. They've muddied the water and have given themselves a lot of opportunities to score, and this is a game.
And for the first time, that effective no Trey Kell is something I'm feeling. I haven't felt that.
I tried to tell you he was a good player.
Yet you'll probably have him at number 14 or 15 in your top 15. I can't wait for that one to come out.
It'll be a long drive back home, you two sharing a car. I'm glad I live locally.
He's in the boot, don't worry.
57-54, back to 3. That most recent foul was on Blanchfield, his second. Now there's another whistle. Watch Malawatch is the man identified by Chris Reed.
I just really dislike those types of fouls when you're working your way back into the game. And I know there's no free throw danger here, but it feels like it just lets the offense set up, take a deep breath, and get themselves ready to attack again.
Second personal for Malawatch. So there are a few players on the court and on the bench who need to be really careful through this third quarter. Blanchfield, tough shot that almost went in. Instead it rolls for Malawatch. Sean Bruce. Isaiah Liarka fumbles the ball, gets it back. So a 3-ball here to lock it up for Sydney at 57 apiece. 3 minutes left in the third. Fighting hard, the Sydney-siders. The turnover there for Dan Greeder. Greeder goes hard to the backboard. Scores with only one to come. Dan Greeder.
Well, great energy from Greeder. You know he's going to give you that. And the Amy replay does a great job of reading that pass. A poor one from Tootie. And then when he's out on the open floor, Greeder knows exactly how to finish. So smooth with it. Nice left hand finish off the glass.
Well, I just watched Brian Gorshman. He was very upset with Sean Bruce. He just felt Sean didn't get them into the offensive set. We said it before, when their offense is good, it stops the transition from Illawarra. Right now, it's been a few poor possessions. And here they go with this little, what looks like a matchup zone, and they switch where they need to and stay in there. The opening is in the middle.
Malawatch. No joy, the rebound to Will Hickey. Dan Greeder still out there, the longest serving current Hawk in his 7th season, despite so many games missed by injury. And the Korean sharpshooter, Youngjung Lee, enters the story again.
You fall asleep on him, Brad, and he will make you pay. Does a great job of hunting his three-point shot opportunities.
Got a few big shot makers, don't they, in Harvey and Kell, Blanchfield, Lee. potential playoff X factors across the floor. Blanchfield just catching the iron. Back to Dan Greeter after that recent highlight play. His first minutes against Sydney this season. 3 did not plays in the previous contest between these two clubs. Tui down low.
Good ball movement, and I feel those options are available a lot more if Sydney will just take the initiative and make some back cuts, make some face cuts.
Ulbrich.
It just seems to improving every time he's stepping on the court. He's been great again tonight. That is his 6th point to go with 5 rebounds.
Now Adams. Jalen dumps it off down low for Malawatch. So Lockie Ulbrich, before that, none of 8 in New Zealand. He was 22 of 23 in his previous games from the field. Lee. Back to Ulbrich and Blanchfield. Shot clock at 5. Lockie Ulbrich from outside. Not his range. Greeter gets the O-board.
Wow, he's caught a hook. He's caught a hook. And Justin Tatum is not happy at all. We'll wait to see the replay. It was a great offensive rebound, but I think the hook may have... We'll have a look. Well, he's called it after this. Great offensive rebound. Just watch here.
Definitely.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Jalen Adams knew he looked straight at the officials and got the desired results.
Now, there's a way to effectively hook without getting called for the foul. If you extend that arm, your forearm around, well, that's going to get you in danger. But if you just put your elbow there on that defender's hip, you can still get enough of it pull off of the hip, off of the defender without getting called for the foul.
Did you just hear this illegal player here just trying to get away with it? You can hear him talking to Billy Mildenhall and all the referees.
Here's how to cheat, kiddies. You would have been hooked out of the way a few times during your playing days. Hit the head, and there's Sean Bruce hooking 3.
Don't worry about those brews. He doesn't care about the booze. He's had them plenty of times before. He loves it. This has been a big couple of minutes here for the Kings.
Despite so much going against them, they have it only for the difference. They're positioning themselves for a big 4th quarter. They've won 11 of their last 12 final quarters when down at 3-quarter time. They're in their sweet spot, the Kings, Young Jung Lee. And we head to 3-quarter time with very much game on at the Wynn Entertainment Centre. The Hawks confined in the 3rd. It's 65-61, 1 quarter to play.
It's your journey, it's your job. With City Motors Group, we rise together. Okay, it's time for the City Motors Group Mid-Court Challenge. Everyone's grand final. So, all season we've been playing this, and we're going to go grand finalists. Aaron right now, how you feeling, buddy? We're good, you're right. Okay, you get this one in a brand new car. Exciting, of course. Okay, so let's start the ball. Where's the ball? It's a half-court shot. We need a ball.
Kings fans, believe in your team. They've won 15 of their last 18 final quarters. If they win this one by 5, they'll win the game. Derek Rucker, Brad Rosen, do you believe in the Harbour City team?
Well, they've done a good job on the defensive end. Illawarra are only 35% from the field. And Brad, they've reduced the Hawks' effectiveness in the paint. That margin of 8 points did not grow since halftime.
No, 22-15 win there for the Kings in that quarter, but it's still 31-4 in fast break points and off turnovers as Lockie Olbrich hits 2 and giving up 14 offensive rebounds. They've just got to do a better job.
And the Hawks have to return to inside focus.
Yes.
Olbrich, Froling pick up his 3rd foul, definitely hurt, but they have to repurpose themselves right here in the 4th.
Here's Quatnoy. The rebound to Lee. Back to the 3rd quarter. The Hawks only 1 point off their lowest scoring 3rd quarter of the season. Joe, you listened to Justin Tatum at 3-quarter time.
I did, and it was a passionate plea to his troops. He said, guys, I don't want any hero ball. I cannot take this from you. It is not good enough. He'll be happy with that, though.
Bit of noise in the house, Joe, as Mason Peatling drains a 3 to make it 70-61. Illawarra's biggest lead of the game, 13. That was at 44-31. Adams. Out for Bruce, who just holds the shot, trying to beat Lee. Oliver. The shot clock violation is called by Travis Stewart.
A good scramble there by the Illawarra Hawks. Again, I don't think Sydney are doing a good job on an individual level of attacking closeouts. And you have to take advantage of the little breaks that you create against a defensive team. And they're just not doing it good enough.
Here's Hickey. The final quarter of the Hawks' regular season. Their crowd standing and applauding until the Kings score their first points of this period. How long will they be on their feet?
Well, that's a big foul. That's on Cam Oliver, and that's his 4th. Jalen Adams very unhappy. He felt that he got hit on the screen, and that's what Cam Oliver was talking about there. It may have been a foul, but they want the one before it. That's a good take by Davo Hickey, and made the referees make a decision.
Well, Brad, as Hickey takes this first free throw, and that's clanged off the side of the rim. Are you leaving Oliver out there?
I think you got to. I mean, you're 9 points down. There's no use saving him. You leave him out there, see how it rolls, because I don't think they can win it with him. He's not.
Coach Rucky, you're in agreement?
I'd probably sit him for 2 minutes, but Brad and I have different views on these particular things, but it doesn't mean one person is right. It doesn't mean one is wrong.
League MVP Derek Rucker.
I don't believe you at all. You know you think you're right.
True, but I have to acknowledge that you could be right.
Championship winning assistant coach Brad Rosen. So the 2 colleagues of mine whose opinion we value dearly.
Thank you, man.
The league MVP, the championship winning coaching staff member. At 71-61, it's the Hawks by 10 again. Lee to bump them out to their biggest lead of the game again. Young John Lee. And the Hawks make an explosive start to the 4th quarter.
Then all it takes is a little bit of relaxation from the defender, and Hyunjung Lee makes them pay.
A 9-0 run to Illawarra to start the final period. Justin Tatum implored his team at 3-quarter time. We heard the report from Joe Healy, who was listening in. What a response from his team. There's another example. There's another reason why Justin Tatum will surely be Coach of the Year on Monday night.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. But I look at that shot from Hyunjung Lee. That is not an accident. He practices that so much. You look at it, it looks easy for someone. Comes off, turns his left foot, gets his right foot round Derek, shoulders facing, and knocks it down. But look at Coach Tatum there. No one knows anything. They don't care that whether they win this or lose this, they finish first. They just want to win another game, Derek.
They do, and he has a standard, and he's trying to hold them to it. It's very easy for teams to relax when you clinch #1 in the league, but he's looking for more. He knows he's got to drive his team. They have a break upcoming.
Well, this has been huge minutes from a lot of people. You look at Hyunjung Lee, 15, Mason Peatling, everyone.
The Sydney Kings have not scored since three-quarter time as we look at the Mitsubishi Motors three-point leaders this season. Chris Golding out on 90. They play the final game of the season tomorrow night against South East Melbourne. Tyler Harvey second behind Chris Golding, but 1 of 8 tonight. His 67 or now 68 threes against Sydney are his most against any opponent, but he's been inefficient in the land of plenty this evening.
That's a tough one. Is that a good shot coming out of a timeout?
I'm sure they had something else drawn up, Brad.
Harvey, make it 1 of 9 from outside. So still the Illawarra crowd sold out again, more than 5,000. Stand and applaud because the Kings can't score until now. Cam Oliver, nursing 4 fouls, scores 2 precious points.
And Brad, if you're going to go early in transition, look for early offense, try and at least get at the rim.
Yeah.
Leave the early 3 ball until you know you've got rhythm, you've got a bit of vibe about you. That's why I didn't like the Adams shot before.
Agreed.
Not that he can't make it, but let's get something more directional and at the rim like they got from there. From Cam Oliver right there.
And I completely agree. Cam Oliver is such an explosive player when he goes towards the ring, and that's what you're saying there. And this is, well, number 1, a good timeout by the Kings, and number 2, what they needed.
90 points seems a fair way away for Sydney. Illawarra have won their last 14 games when keeping the opposition under 90. They go to 76-64. After the Lockie Olbrich score. Jalen Adams allowed to work his way to the rack.
Well, I feel offensively this is the Sydney Kings' best 5 tonight. This is where they're going to get the scores and be able to get the win, but they've got to get stops, and that's where it hurts. Bull Quoll is very physical here on Tyler Harvey.
Hickey outside for Lee. Adams got in his face just in time. Ooh. Beautiful move from Will Hickey to shake Quatnoy. Then he went upstairs and ran into trouble. But Lockie Olbrich makes good.
Wow. Great activity at that Hawks rim. William Hickey tried to go in there and destroy the whole Kings defense.
And then just sitting here taking in the landscape, the Hawks have a handy lead. As we look at the replay here, they're locked into top spot, but the bench is riding this like it's a deciding grand final game. Mason Peatling, Will Hickey are showing energy like it's 90-all with 2 to play in a deciding grand final game. It's great across the team.
Well, to them, it doesn't matter. We're playing for that singlet, we're playing for the pride, and every time we step on the court, that's our culture, that's what we do, and you see it every time they are out there.
Illawarra by 12 as Bull Quoll lets loose with a 3.
First field goal made of the evening, a big one. Now they've got to crank it up here. They got to get some consecutive stops, clear the glass, and convert on the offensive end.
And for Illawarra, on a broken record, go to that man, Sam Froling.
Here's Harvey. Getting away from Quoll. An elite defender, and Harvey left him in his wake. Quatnoy to Oliver. Tui scores on Young Jung Lee. There was a key period in the 3rd quarter where Sydney got a lot of consecutive stops. The trouble was there were no points for them in the possessions following each of those stops.
They couldn't get offensively organized. Turnovers and poor shots, they could have taken better advantage of it.
Tyler Harvey, the 3 balls not going for him tonight. That's 1 of 10 now. For a man who has more made 3s against the Kings than any other opposition. Harvey slapping the ball away from Bull Quoll.
And I mentioned it before, Brad, about attacking closeouts. Perfect example there. Quoll doesn't do a good enough job. Gets himself in an awkward position. And I don't know if that's a function of missing a lot of time this season or just a lack of confidence.
Quoll. Bucket is waved away. Travel is the call, and Brian Goorjian can't believe it.
Well, from this angle, it did look like he stepped. He just took that extra little step here. We'll wait for the replay. Amy will tell us.
Hey, believe in yourself, man. You saw what happened.
I might just jump in your car and take this drive back to Sydney with you for entertainment value as Young Jung Lee misses the shot. He hit the deck, wanted the foul call. There was none coming, but the offensive rebound is taken by Illawarra again.
Number 17, Matty.
Swaka Labullock really makes it hurt. 0 rebounds. How valuable are they? Well, Swaka Labullock shows us right there.
Brad mentioned it, 17 offensive rebounds for Illawarra. The Amy replay, Harvey does a good job of creating an opportunity, and Wani Swaka-Labullock, one of the best two-way players in the NBL, continuing to establish himself as a lead perimeter player.
A Tangerine timeout is called. An interesting matchup between these teams each time they've met this season, because Illawarra score the most points per possession. Sydney concede the fewest points per possession. Further to that, Illawarra the highest field goal percentage in the league. Conversely, Sydney give up the lowest field goal to opposition. So why is Illawarra's offense beating Sydney's defense? We'll get to that very shortly, because there's a very special guest, a two-time NBA Coach of the Year, standing by with Joe Healy.
There is. Thanks, Matty. I'm with Mike Brown. Mike, so great to see you here. What brings you down under to Aussie shores?
You know what? I had a lot of time on my hand, and so I decided to come to Australia. There's a big UFC event. I'm a huge UFC fan. UFC 312. We're here to check that out too.
I love that. What have you made of this game, and I guess the growth of Aussie basketball just in your time in the game?
It's a lot of fun. It's an entertaining game. I tell you what, the crowd is unbelievable. And Justin, I got to tip my hat out to him. He's done a heck of a job here. So I'm enjoying myself.
It's a small arena, but it packs a punch. Now, I've got to ask about the NBA trade period. I mean, were you as shell-shocked as the rest of us? I take it was wild.
My first year in the league was 1992. I've never experienced anything like it. I kept seeing train after train after train. It was amazing, and it drew a lot of interest, not just in the NBA, but worldwide, so it's good for the game.
Who won the big one, the Lakers or Mavs?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm not sure. I think both of them got what they wanted, so time will tell. Time will tell.
Hey, thank you so much for your time. I know you're here on holiday, but enjoy the rest of the trip in the UFC.
Hey, we love Sydney. We love the city. We're going to enjoy our time in Australia. Thanks for having me.
Let it go. Let it go. Hey, it's all right. It's all right. I'm going to do something about it. Wani. Yeah, I know he did, and I saw it. You just control yourself. I will do something about it. Okay?
Thank you, Joe. Speaking with Mike Brown while that was unfolding and wrapping up. We've had another flare-up, the second of the game.
Well, Jalen Adams and Wani Swaka-Labullock. A little collision off the ball.
Oh. Well, this could have ramifications not only for this game, but for moving forward. I didn't think there was a lot off the ball there, but it's obviously the interaction of when Wani went up to him, that right hand.
Well, he puts the pointer finger in his grill,
yeah,
Brad.
There, right there.
Okay, replay center, have you got this? Okay, so we're going to have a moving screen on the first call. That's just a normal foul on Harvey. We got a technical foul on Swaka for going into the face and inciting Adams. Adams then deliberately pokes and goes to the eyes of Wani to try and disqualify him for. So I have a disqualifying foul on Adams.
Wow.
Can you please review and confirm?
Well, from what we just said, we said not a lot in it, so they're just to replay that, they'll call the moving screen, then they'll get Wani walking up to that man there and saying, I don't want that, he'll get a tip out, but it sounds like a disqualifying foul for the push of the finger in the face.
So a foul on Harvey, a foul on Swaka-Labullock, and an ejection of Jalen Adams.
Right, so there's the foul right there. So you'll see that moving on Tyler. Now, as Swaka comes up to him, he gets the technical foul, and Jalen will get ejected for that right hand into his face. Wow. So the big news here coming out of this now, will he be available for the play-in?
Against Adelaide on Tuesday night.
Assuming this stays, this scores, yes.
Well,
big news here in
Wollongong. The Sydney Kings, and again, as he gets some love from a fan in the front row, but
on white number 2.
He just got scolded by one of the Hollywood seat participants.
And now he's been ejected officially from the game.
So we're shooting one shot. We're shooting one shot, and then we have 2 in possession to Illawarra. Thank you. Are you coming in?
So Tyler Robertson enters. You heard Chris Reed there speaking with Brian Goorjian.
Well,
one shot,
you
Sydney.
do have to give credit to the referees there.
One shot to Sydney, 2 shots to Illawarra, then possession. Illawarra will be the wash-up out of all of this. But more importantly, Jalen Adams out of the game, his side down by 12. And 5,500 Illawarra Hawks send him on his way.
Well, he'll leave the premises with 14 points. Another subpar performance when the Kings have needed him to be at his best. It has not happened.
Well, I know we're going to say forget everything. Will he play now? That is the
big story.
Well, here's an up-close look at it. And wow, what a turn of events.
Do you want to have a stab straight away? Is that a fine or a match suspension? Or do we need time to gather ourselves before?
Look, and I know I'm going to be told here, yeah, Sydney fan, to lose a player for a playing game for that, there wasn't a punch. It didn't. There's no blood drawn. There's no anything. Right from that reaction, like, I mean, yes, he does that. Is that enough for a game disqualification for a playing game? I'd find that hard.
This league, amazingly, continues to present scenarios, Brad, that in all our times in this league, we have not seen before.
Yep, that's true.
It'll be sudden death if the score stays with Sydney trailing. The Kings against Adelaide in the play-in tournament, 5th against 6th. Will Jalen Adams be available? The big headline out of this story now. Jalen Adams ejected. The Hawks out by 12. The regular season champions hoping to put an exclamation mark on their best ever regular season. As Robertson misses and Blanchfield gets the rebound. But boy, there have been problems all seasons for Sydney, and they've continued into the final game incredibly tonight. Just updating, no Xavier Cooks, shocking plenty at the stadium when he was a no starter because of personal reasons, according to the club. That on top of injuries to Galloway and Lupepe that have been around for months now, and they have Jalen Adams ejected and therefore in doubt for Tuesday night. Popular pick by many pre-season to win the comp. The Kings are up against it now.
Well, you can just feel the airs come out of Sydney here. They've got to play this last 3 minutes and a game, what looks like to be against Adelaide in the coming week. But Illawarra, they're not taking anything for granted. Full throttle.
Tui can't finish. And the loose ball is off Illawarra, Sydney possession. Still the best part of 3 minutes to play, but it's the Hawks by 14.
And both teams have not been able to shoot the ball with any great level of proficiency, both below 40% from the field. And both at less than 30% from the three.
Harvey and the Hawks staring at a 21-day break after tonight before their first playoff game as top seed for the NBL25 postseason. Sam Froling with a double-double on the board this evening, continuing his stellar and consistent form all campaign. Illawarra ball. Sam Froling tonight, 12 points. Add 11 rebounds to the tally.
Now, as we've taken our breath, I want to get back to Joe Healy's interview. That is Mike Brown, people.
Right.
That is Mike Brown. But obviously, everything that's gone on. We're talking Cleveland Cavaliers head coach when Matthew Dellavedova, I'm right here, aren't I, Derek? He was the head coach. Now you're thinking, aren't you? But yeah, when they won the championship, and obviously Matthew Dellavedova has played for Mike Brown a couple of times. That is an outstanding. Oh, wow! Davo Hickey.
The lid applied by Hickey as he bounces back up the floor and says, Illawarra, jump on my shoulders.
Davo Hickey, Jung Lee, they've been outstanding in this game. Hickey's energy and just his defensive presence has made up for the fact that he hasn't shot the ball well.
Turnover. Brace yourself. 33-year-old Blanchfield elevates and swings and enjoys every moment of it. Is he 33 or 23? He's feeling 13 again all of a sudden. Malawatch. The crowd stands. Tina blares and the crowd celebrates. What an atmosphere.
Well, you see here, that's Davo Hickey going upstairs, throwing it down, but have a listen to this. The bench players are coming on, the development players, and a standing ovation here as Tyler Harvey, Davo Hickey and Froling take a break.
And a debut for young local Brad Ballinger. You check the bloodlines, Bradley. No relation to Adam Ballinger?
No relation. The question was asked.
Kobe McDowell White out there for his 6th game of the season as well. We saw Lukey Yates and Kwani in New Zealand on Wednesday, so Justin Tatum enjoying giving his DP some court time. I hope for better time than that turnover. McDowell White gets back, concedes the foul.
And the Hawks do what exactly these fans came out here to see them do. Celebrate that minor premiership with a blowout victory over their rivals.
The question is, Derek, can they get to 100 points for the 19th time this season? Most in the league, ahead of Perth with 14, Southeast Melbourne 13. The team averaging more than a ton is trying to get to 100 for a 19th time. Perth coming up next, straight after this game against Adelaide. Another intriguing game. Perth off a big win against Sydney last Sunday. A great round, in fact. Back-to-back wins for John Riley's men heading into tonight. Now Kwani. Loose ball taken by Kwani. Trouble is the call.
Over and back, Matty, on the pass. And this one's over, Brad. And now the Kings have to somehow prepare themselves for the next game, which will be a play-in qualifier.
Right. Will Xavier Cooks play? Will Jalen Adams be available? Let's take nothing away from Illawarra. This is a team that went 14 and 14 last season.
McDowell White. His first three-pointer of his NBL career. He'd only scored 4 total before that shot. Good luck to the young man as Kwatnoi goes back at the Hawks unsuccessfully. And this might be Illawarra's last possession of the regular season. It's Kobe McDowell White, Lukey Yates, Blanchfield, Kwani, and Ballinger. Who's going to take the last shot? Come on, put it up, Ballinger. He loses the ball. It falls instead for Malawatch, and he throws it away. And that will leave only 1.8 of a second or thereabouts on the clock. Justin Tatum, Coach of the Year in waiting. Spurgeon, the final shot. But the team that has led the league in field goal percentage and points per game, not to mention rebounding and so many other stats, leads the league after the regular season for the first time in their 47 years. The Illawarra Hawks of 2024-25 take a bow.
Well, the talent and the depth took over in the second half, in particular this fourth quarter, where they held the Kings to only 14 points. An outstanding defensive job. Great energy from Will Hickey. Great shooting from Hyung-Jung Lee. Tyler Harvey was strong. Just a great team performance. And the symbolization of a true minor premier, the Illawarra Hawks.
Completely agree, Groot. As I was saying before, you look at that now, the NBL ladder, Mitsubishi Motors, NBL ladder 5 and 6, done. That is locked in. 2, 3, and 4 can still change. 1 locked in. 20 and 9 for the season. They were 14 and 14 last year and a quarter of a way from a grand final appearance. What an outstanding season, the Illawarra Hawks.
Haven't they rewarded their home fans? They finish at the Wynn Entertainment Centre with a record of 10 and 4. No wonder they're singing YMCA and dancing for joy in the stands, Derek.
This is going to be a tough place to come in and win a playoff basketball game. We saw how close they were last season to getting to the championship series. They lost game 3 at Melbourne United. They will not have to play a decider game on the road throughout the NBL playoffs.
Have a listen to this. They were champions in 2001. What do you make of this Illawarra Hawks team? Have they played the best basketball of any Hawks team since '79? The only team to be there for every season of NBL.
Well, if you go to the historical metrics, their net rating is one of the best we've seen in NBL history. Their offense is outstanding. They've got depth.
Let's go over to Joe Healy, who's standing by with probably several of the stars.
I'm here with HJ Lee. The guys are celebrating around him. HJ, how sweet is that? You finished on top of the ladder. You've swept your arch rivals. What a performance.
We're still worried about Trey and Darius without, but I think we really have a good team chemistry, and that we're strong enough to play, finish in the first seed.
Is this the loudest you've ever heard it in here? That was a wild atmosphere.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what JT was saying. I was just keep playing, but we got the best results. So shout out to the crowd.
How do you celebrate this one with the team?
Well, recovery first. We'll enjoy the regular season champion, but job's not done, and then we got still the most important part of the season coming up. So we'll be prepared for that.
Enjoy this and good luck for the rest of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. A happy man indeed. There are plenty of happy Hawks. We're not far away from going to the west, Perth against Adelaide. But right after this, we'll come back to a buzzing Wynn Entertainment Centre. Joe and the boys wrap it up. The Hawks, regular season champions of NBL 25.